Okay guys, this video was inspired by Fatima, who I noticed yesterday worked really hard for me, and I thank her very much for that. I noticed she was struggling with this set of problems, if I'm not mistaken. Let's get right to it. So we're going to factor high degree polynomials in different ways. And again, here's where I found it. The pencil mark tells you it's practice. The arrowheads tell you they're videos. Watch the videos you want, guys. They're good videos. Okay? But anyways, let's get right to the practice. So, if we look at the first problem here, guys, look at that right there, will you? It's not completely factored, is it? Notice the 3 and 12, I can factor out a 3. The x and the x squared, I can factor out an x. So I have a GCF of 3x. GCF of 3x. So, x times 3x is 3x squared. Watch your signs. I have a minus. 4 times 3x is 12x. It's done. Now, what about the second parentheses, though? Let's try an x on it. I know I need a 1 for my product. 1 times 1, right, is 1. I know I need a minus 2 in the middle. Well, 1 times 1 is 1. If I make them both negative, I get my negative 2. And a negative times a negative is a positive. So this also factors using the x method. And the first minus 1, of course, means minus 1. X minus 1. The second one means another x minus 1. So what are we hopefully learning with this practice with Khan Academy, guys, is you're practicing your GCF factoring, you're practicing your X method factoring a little bit. Okay? Let's go on to another one. Uh-oh, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 things. And hopefully you watched the video I just made earlier today with the practice worksheet, because you would have learned this is factor by grouping. Make sure you get all the signs in there as well. All right. So in our first group, notice the x's. I'm going to factor out an x squared. This only has a 1, so I can't really factor out a number. So x times x squared is x3. I notice I have a minus. Watch your signs. 8 times x squared is 8x squared. So the first part is done. Let's look at the second group here. There's a minus, guys. So let's factor out a minus. Watch your signs. And 2 and 16 means I do a 2. So an x times minus 2 is minus 2x. A minus 8, not positive 8, minus 8 times minus 2 is a positive 16. So now that I have that factored, look, they have a common factor of x minus 8. So when that's gone, I'm left with x squared. When that's gone, I'm left with minus 2. This is what you type in there. And remember, guys, one of the reasons why you're doing Khan Academy is you're practicing doing math on a computer, learning to type things in, learning to do weird stuff like fractions and powers and radicals, typing them into the computer. Okay, guys, you're going to need that, okay, for your future. Trust me. But anyways, we got that one right. Let's move on to the next one. This one has a little trick to it. Look at the first parentheses, guys. I hope you, hopefully this sounds familiar. A difference of 2 squares. There's only 2 terms, but they're both perfect squares. Check this out. I'm going to do an x method on it. I know 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. And there is no x in the middle. It's a zero sum. Can we make that happen? Yes, we can. You see, 2 times 2 is 4. 2 minus 2 is 0. And 2 times minus 2 is negative 4. So this first parentheses becomes x. The 2 means plus 2. The minus 2 means x minus 2. That's how you factor a difference of two squares. Bottom line, you got to recognize those perfect squares, guys. You know, 4, 9, 16, 25, 64, all of those are perfect squares. Okay? Now, the second parentheses is just a regular x. I know that 1 times 9 is a 9. I need a 6 sum in the middle. That's just simply 3 times 3, right? So I'm just going to have an x plus 3 and another x plus 3. This is what you type in there, and you get it right. So guys, notice so far, we're doing x factoring, we're doing GCF factoring, we're even doing a difference of two squares, which hopefully is not that difficult for anybody. All right, let's try another one. We're back to three things, but just like my other video showed you, the practice worksheet showed you, sometimes you got to do a GCF first, guys. Look at those numbers and powers, right? Let's do a GCF first here. So you got to do that. So 5, 20, and 20, isn't that a 5? X4, X3, X2, they all have an X2 in them, right? So this is my greatest common factor, 5x squared. Let's finish it up. X squared times 5x squared is 5x4. There's a minus. Let's put the minus down. 4x times 5x squared is 20x3. Remember, powers add, guys. 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay? Now, finally, we have a plus, and a 4 times 5x squared is 20x squared. So we got our GCF done. Now what? Let's do the x with the rest of it. Okay? So 1 times 4 is 4 with a minus 4 in the middle. 2 times 2 is 4, but to get the negative, we need them both negative 2's. And a negative times a negative is a positive 4. So what's our final answer, guys? We have that GCF 5x squared, and the rest of the parentheses becomes x minus 2, x minus 2. This is what you type in there, and you get the right answer. Okay? How about this one here? Uh-oh. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces again. What should I do? I'm going to group them. Make sure you get all the signs in your groups. Okay, in the first group, there is just the number 1, so no number really to factor out. So I'm just going to do an x4. X times x4 is x5. There's a minus. 1 times x4 is x4. Remember, guys, sometimes you have to use that 1 sort of like a placeholder. Let's do our second group here. Notice they both have a positive 3 in them. Always go by the sign right there, by the way, guys. So x times 3 is 3x. Minus 1 times a positive 3 is negative 3. See how they both have an x minus 1 in common. So we're going to take out that x minus 1. And when it's gone here, I'm left with x4. When it's gone here, I'm left with a positive 3. This is what you type in there for the correct answer. So guys, I'm going to stop the video there. I've done quite a few of them for you and with you there. I need you to practice this. I reassigned at the beginning. Remember, anything I repeat assignment-wise gets credit double. So in other words, if I originally assigned it earlier, like 2 weeks ago, when you do it this time, it'll also count for the last time. Okay? So I need you to try this soon. Watch my videos, guys. And I'll see you around.